All right, rent versus own in San Antonio. We're going to talk about here today. Yeah, there we go, sweet. A little bit of a bright from that light, but it'll be interesting. So I lived in San Antonio. 78006 is actually north. It's called Bernie in Kendall County, not Bexar County. So same proximity, but we'll talk about it. So don't forget to subscribe down below. We did a rent versus own here where I live now, which is Alpharetta, Georgia. And there I came up that you should probably own as opposed to rent, just when you crunch some numbers on a similar piece of property. Did rent versus own in Phoenix, Arizona, 2 places, because my wife and I both lived in those 2 places. And in that case, it was hands down, in my opinion, for renting. Now let's look where we used to live in Bernie, Texas. All right, so Bernie, Texas, you got San Antonio, which is 10. All right, so you got Highway 10, and that's where San Antonio is. You go north Highway 10 a little bit. Again, you're going through Bexar. It's not Bexar County, Bexar. It's called Bexar County in San Antonio, by the way. And then you go up to Kendall County, the beginning of the hill country. Just a beautiful place for sure. But man, it's exploding in growth. I mean, it's exploding. You're just like, oh, I couldn't take it anymore. But if you were going to find yourself there, you'd find 2 options, and we're going to start with the neighborhood we used to live in called Herf Ranch. So just Herf Ranch, I think is what it's called. I guess that's, let me put it like that, which is right outside of 46 in Bernie, Texas, Boerne, Bernie, Texas. And they've done a lot of work on it in terms of the highways and whatnot since we've since been gone. I'm just trying to think. So I think you have to. I think the traffic now is it's insane because they've put a lot of building going on there. In fact, on the other side of 46, there's something called Esperanza neighborhood, which is going to be like 10,000 units, and that they had put that on hold when we moved there because of 2008 collapse. I think it's no longer on hold. I think it's booming now. So anyway, so here's a 4.3. 2,200 square feet in Horse Hill in 78006 in the Herf Ranch neighborhood, which is Cibolo Creek Elementary School, Kendall County South. I can't remember the name of the middle school. There's South and North, and I forgot what they're called. The same exact schools, though. So Cibolo Creek Elementary, something South or North, I forgot, and then Champion High School. So you got those 3. 4-bed, 3-bath, own. 2277 square foot. That right now the price is $259. Tax in Texas, property tax is pretty high, so it's $5,500 there. And then homeowners insurance, I'm just saying $1,200. All right, so you're basically saying at the end of the day, it's going to cost you $1,870 a month. And again, we're using our VA loan, 100% loan to value, no down payment whatsoever. So here in Bernie, Texas, 78006 is going to cost you $1,870 to rent this house on Horse Hill Road or Drive in Bernie, Texas, in the Herf Ranch community. However, if you want to rent, it's literally a house in the same street. I mean, just 2 houses down. 4 2.5, so you get a little bit less of a full bath. You get 1/2 instead of a full. 2,300 square feet, so a few, 50, something like that, 50 square feet more, 40. And then the rent here is $2,000 a month. All right, so the 2, we get 1/2 a bath less, a little bit more square footage, and a little bit more in rent. Exact same school district, everything's the same for sure. The 2, I'd go here again. I'm just telling you, man, as if you see the growth going on down there and you see the number of houses that are for sale with all the new developments happening. So like when I did a look at Zillow, where we used to live was just a cattle ranch behind us. There was nothing there. And we see the moo cows come by, and it was fun. You could hear them, it was fun. I'd take the kids out there, and we'd watch them because my kids were little back then. We had a lot of fun. Now there's houses back there, and it's only getting more and more and more because they're redoing the whole town of Bernie, and the traffic's getting worse and worse and worse. And so if you're trying to up because you say it's too busy for me, good luck trying to get out of this house at $259. I mean, because there's so much, you got it competing with new builds. All right, so new development is going up like crazy, and you're competing with a lot of other people. I mean, literally, there's about 4 or 5, maybe, in the whole neighborhood. There's like 4 or 5 places for rent, but there's dozens of homes for sale. A couple dozen for sure. And so, I mean, if you're competing and they're all the similar type houses, this is one drawback to living in a condo, frankly. When it comes time to sell and everything's the same, I mean, all this price is a commodity. I mean, so price will dictate whether or not people want to buy your condo versus somebody else. If somebody else is more desperate than you to get out of their condo, they're going to lower the price just to cut you out the knees. That's the challenge. So here we got in Bernie, the owning is going to cost you $130 less a month. Yeah, you're building equity, but I would rent there too. So so far so good. We got one owning in Alpharetta. We got one rental in Phoenix, two rentals actually, and then another third rental in Bernie, Texas. And we'll follow up next time with Haddonfield, which is, we lived in New Jersey, Haddonfield, New Jersey. I was going to do Harrisonburg, Virginia. There's just not that many rentals there that I could see, even though it is a community, college community. It's a pretty small place. So I'm going to skip over Harrisonburg because we live in that area too. So we're going to we've looked at now where we live now. We've looked at Phoenix twice, and we've looked at Bernie, Texas. We'll look at Haddonfield next. So stay tuned. Thanks, guys.